Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, welcome to the Bannon Cricket Podcast. Now, if that sounded a little bit familiar, it is because I stole it from the best umpire in the game, the one only CricketUmpire86. Welcome to the show.
Thank you. Thank you for having me on.
Absolutely. John, JT, what do you prefer? I hear that.
Go with JT. JT's
Hey,
fine.
JT,
Yeah.
okay, I've heard a couple of different people, John, JT, Umpire86. Let everyone know, how did this start? How does all this happen? How did we get here? How did we come to you being the guy, the absolute GOAT of out not out? How did all this start?
So, what do you want? What generally from like when I started cricket, or just the cricket
Oh,
content?
I guess actually, yeah. Let's probably. I probably should have asked first. Let everyone know where you're from. So, Pommy, Englishman. We had this. I actually spoke with Charlie in episode 2. Pommy is when I refer to an Englishman, Australians, Poms, Yanks, the Aussies, Englishmen, born and bred.
Yep.
And
Lincolnshire area. I've played my cricket all my life for Woodall Spa in Lincolnshire. Beautiful village. It's about 15 minutes from where I actually live. And yeah, you couldn't ask for a better club to play cricket for. To be very honest, it's one of the best grounds in the area, and like the county and everything. It's just, yeah. And I'm obviously biased, but it has won the last 2-3 years, been rated as the best ground in the county. So
you gotta love that. And it sounds like it's a good ground. Obviously, never been there. Coming from Australia, we have nice grounds. It's kind of set up very well. In America, not so much. I don't know if you've ever seen what it's like over here, but it's clay, Hessian mats, pinned down. I'm very fortunate that we have a local AstroTurf field.
Right, yeah. I've seen a little bit from obviously what Brian does with his content. So when I've seen him umpiring games as well, so you see a little bit from that and a bit. So yeah, no, we're obviously very fortunate where I play, and I've been there since I was 13, so I'm 38, nearly 39, and still playing. So I still, as much as I umpire, I still do play. And I've still got aspirations to do better and still improve whatever. So yeah, I've never been a massive batter, but I am trying to improve my batting the last few years. So
in saying that, are you a bowler? Is that
I am a bowler. Yeah, I used to bowl. So I used to bowl seam up. So seam up swing. Never the quickest, but I was accurate. I used to just nip it either way, and just challenge the stumps basically, wicket to wicket, a little bit of swing away mainly, and then I could bowl the in swinger as well. So, but that all sort of changed around COVID time. We had that bit where we were doing all loads of indoor nets up to the start of the season, then COVID hit, everything locked down. Came out from that, and I just lost my action. I could not bowl it, and I thought at one point, the next year, I thought I wasn't going to be wasn't confident enough to play because my batting was never going to be good enough to get me in a team. And then I thought, right, well, I'll try a bit of spin bowling, try a bit of off spin. And it seems to come out okay. It still took work, and I've worked on it. And now that's what I bowl. I bowl off spin. Well, say off spin. It sort of floats out sometimes, and it's just a bit of, I set the right fields. And that helps me get wickets. But I like to think I've developed it more, and it used to be very floaty, and now it is a little bit flatter, a little bit spin, and it does actually spin when I get it right. So,
I think you can call it mystery spin. I know mystery spin's now a category.
We'll call it that. We'll call it that, yeah. I've got over 300 wickets for the club over the years. Some of it's not registered because I'm old, and before some of the stats were recorded properly on what we use is play cricket.
That's fantastic.
Yeah, I love playing. I love playing for the club, and it's like I say, it's my whole time there. So yeah, it all started because I went along with a mate when I was 13 and been there ever since.
Yeah, so that was gonna be the question. How did it start? Were you born with a bat in your hand, cricketing family, or
my family? None of my really sort of close family have ever been in cricket. It was a mate who took me along. It's a bit of a sad story really, because my mate, when we were 13, he had a bit of a heart condition. So as we played the first couple of years as junior cricket, under 13s, under 15s, and then when we were starting what I would class as my final under 15 season, before that he he sadly passed away. He had like I said, a heart condition.
Oh,
So
wow. I'm sorry to
we've
hear
got
that,
a
mate.
bench named after him. We've got awards after him. And yeah, it's not just the reason why I still play at Woodall, but it's a big reason why I still play cricket there. So yeah.
Absolutely. Yeah, the mateship of cricket is different. I think I don't know anything else. I've played other sports. The mateship on cricket there is quite unique. Yeah, and that's coming over here to the States. Like, no one understands cricket and what it means to be part of like that team. On the cricket team and the way that you like are challenged out there. It's different to baseball where there's you're out. Okay, I'll come back in later. But in cricket, it's the test of like, I can't get out. I got to stay out here. And if I get out, well, I have to wait till next week. And you're all in the same boat. And then you got to go out in the field. And then maybe you all got out for a low score. And then you all put it together in the field and get some quick wickets and get a win if it was a low score. And yeah, I've been there. And so it's such a unique game. And the mates obviously make it also. So now in with that, do you also umpire? You also umpire, right?
Currently now, so ever since I passed my course, which was, I'm trying to think now, it'd be 3 years ago. Yeah, it'd been 3 years ago since I passed my course. So the routine was that we've got two teams on a Sunday. I play for the Sunday second team, and if we had two teams, both the first and seconds playing, I would play. And then when we only had one team, there was enough players about that I would go and umpire. It's slightly changed over this last year. And this year, this season, I am going to play a little bit more because I want to try and play as much as I can until I can't, basically. So I will umpire. Obviously, I'll do some charity stuff and league games, but not as much because I'm going to focus a little bit more on playing. But yeah, that's generally the rule. And I will get umpiring in because there's always enough. There's loads of it about, so when you get it. So, but work slightly dictates that I can only do Sunday, so I have to balance one or the other. If I had Saturdays off, I'd do umpiring on Saturday and I'd play every Sunday, but it doesn't. So
yeah, that sounds like the dream right there. One of each. My old man, he now umpires full time back home in Australia. He's also a coach. Moved from coaching into umpiring because there's a shortage. It's not always able to get umpires, and in Australia, like I'm sure in England, like there are a lot of high grades that require the umpires to be there, like, and sometimes require two umpires. And so if you're available, you can do Saturday, Sunday. They even have like midweek, tournaments.
Yeah. Yeah. There's not just the reason why I started the channel and everything, but I'll see it point and come to that. But I think it's important that trying to get the umpiring out there, we need more umpires all the time. I mean, I took it up because I've always wanted to sort of do it. And then they finally got an opportunity where the course is aligned with when I could do it. Because of work, I was still limited, and they did it on Sundays, and I just jumped at the chance. The club, I said the club paid for it, but the league actually paid the club to get me to do it. I mean, I was always wanting to do it, but
yeah,
that financial bit where that's taken away from it, it's brilliant. It saves me having to pay for it at the time. And it was about 4 Sundays that I took to do it, and then I was, well, you qualified, but then you have to obviously go out and do it as well. So
yeah. And how does it work? Do you, in your leagues, do you have? I'm assuming you have player umpires, not just officials. Yeah, right.
Yeah. Well, it's literally down to the fact that there isn't enough to cover. In the league I play and umpire in, there's 4 divisions. So there's Prem 1, 2, 3. There's obviously, I think there's about 10, 11 teams in each one. There's loads of games where there's just not going to be, there's not enough umpires.
Yeah.
So yeah. And obviously when I'm playing, I wonder where I go when I'm batting. So if we need an umpire, there's a reason why I go out and do it. So
yeah. Because that's how I learned. Obviously, like there wasn't enough to go around, and you spend a lot of time in grade cricket. If you're playing like thirds or fourths, you got to go at the umpire. So I spent a lot of time. I don't have an official umpire course. I probably should. But yeah, spent a lot of time umpiring. And it's like that 80%. I feel like it's like 80%. which is why your channel is so good, because even the 20% for me that's unknown, it's like, oh, hang on, what's the rule on this? Like, was like, that's out. Oh, that seems like that's not out. And then it's like, well, actually, if you went to the lore, I was like, oh, we have a lore book? I just thought, impacting in line, pitching in line.
I should have got it out. I've got it back behind me. So,
I love that. I love that. Guys,
that's not the official one, but this is very good. Tom
Okay.
Smith's.
There you go.
100%. People, if ever any going to get into umpiring, this is just as important as the little blue book, because it gives other bits. Let me get me flag.
He's getting, guys. If you're just listening to the audio, JT is getting official. He's getting out the blue book, the laws of cricket book, the laws,
the MCC,
the MCC. There it is. There it is.
It's a little bad because we take it out every game I umpire. It goes with me because that's what I was told to do.
Yeah. No, if you're gonna point, you're gonna point to something, and and right here, it's in the room.
Exactly. If you, it's handy because sometimes your brain just in the moment just hang on. So you just take a moment. You just go, right. Let me just quickly double check, and you can make that decision. So
yeah. Because like I said, there's like small areas of the game that very rarely happen. But then you see them on TV and you go, oh, what's that all about? What do you mean dead ball? Or what do you mean they can't give that out? And it's like, oh, there's actually a rule that I've never experienced before. I think one of the ones was dead ball when the player's not playing a shot and then taking a run. I think that was, to me, one of the ones that one of the first videos that I maybe posted and you commented on, and it was like, I didn't even know that was I didn't know if that was a thing. Like, hit you in the leg, didn't play a shot, you run. Sure, go ahead. Dead ball.
I still get there's still a lot of people who think, because there's a fine line. So if the batter leaves it and it doesn't hit any part of their body, and then the ball goes away, they can still run. They can still get buys and stuff like that. But if it touches any part of their body, unless it's like evasive action, without it hitting the bat, and if they run, then that is a dead ball. Well, you let them run the first one, then it's dead ball. So yeah, because technically you can actually still get run out on that first run as well. So, but after that, then it's dead ball.
It's so good.
That's why cricket's it's wonderful and so confusing as well.
It's so good. I mean, I've spent the past 6 months trying to explain it to Americans, and there's still even times where it's like, oh, wait, that's how it works. Obviously, they're slowly getting the general gist of it. But yeah, it is super exciting. There's so many things happening at once. So many things can happen. Even just, I don't know if you saw last night, there was a deflection under the stumps, run out at the batter's end during the BBL. That was kind of crazy. And I mean, you're always posting the outs, not outs. And for me, I absolutely I love them. Generally I'm on par with what you're saying. Sometimes, I mean, I was caught up. I'm going to have some hot takes for you later on some very controversial decisions. And we'll see what Cricket Umpire has to say about them. So kind of back onto this, how did the channel kind of start? Like, where did you first start posting? Why did you first start posting? And then, how did it kind of just go up and up and up?
Yeah, so I'll go back a tiny bit before it, because I didn't just start posting cricket content. Like a lot of people, I started creating some form of content during the first sort of lockdowns and COVID hit to 2020. I was doing, I started streaming on Twitch, so that sort of got me a little bit of bug, and then I started posting on YouTube about streaming content. So, and how to help you stream and all this. And that sort of got a little bit stale a little bit for me. So, I did all my cricket, I did my umpiring thing. I think it was midway through, sort of like late June time in 2022, 23? No, 23. I'll lose track of my time. No, 2022. I lose track of time. See, this is how long I've been. So, and I thought, right, I'm going to do something I enjoyed talking about. And I didn't really see a lot on TikTok about umpiring per se. And I thought, well, I've just done my course. Let's just try and start posting content around cricket and umpiring. And I just went, straight in. straight in the deep end, started posting 2-3 times a day. And I think that's important on TikTok because that's where I started. I didn't really do Instagram too much, and I didn't do YouTube too much at the start, but I do now. I start doing more on Instagram and more on YouTube. I just went literally anything and anything I could sort of stitch or duet or then it just snowballed. And I know before I knew it, I was at 1,000 followers. I could start live streaming a bit. I don't do it much on there, but and then like I say, it just snowballed, and now we're at 20-odd thousand. And it's slowed down a bit, but I only post once a day, maybe twice. And it's not about the amount of content now for me. It's trying to get the right sort of one I want to put out. Because if I post too much, I'll lose to post later on. So I don't want it to all come in one go, and then I've got nothing else to do. So yeah, I don't know how I posted 3 times a day back in when I started, but I did. I've done over 1,000 videos on the channel, and or on TikTok as well. So I know most of them are quite short, but it's still a lot of time to find the content, talk about it, tell you what, I've got so many screenshots of laws and it's in my phone. It's ridiculous.
Yeah. I know the feeling. I have to keep clearing my phone out, like deleting all the screenshots, deleting all the videos that I cut, because the phone just gets caught up with so much data, and then you use the CapCut to edit it all, and then it's like, oh wait, I can't download it, so delete more videos and save this video and upload the video, and I think it was interesting. You said like you don't remember how you posted 3 videos a day. I remember that first week I was on TikTok, I did 30 videos in 48 hours. I just posted, and it was insane because when my Cricket Explained video kind of took off, I was like, I'm just going to answer every comment with a video. And then it was like, I sat here for one night. If you scroll down, you'll see like I have the same shirt and the same background for like a whole piece of the feed. I just sat here right here at the desk. I was like, okay, what does 2020 mean? Okay, 2020 means 120 balls, and then it's like 120 legal balls. And it's like, wait, what's a legal ball? Okay, this is what a legal ball means. Does the ball bounce? Yeah, it can bounce. It cannot bounce. Can it bounce twice? No, it cannot bounce twice. And then it's like just over and over. And
then it can bounce twice because the second bounce is after the pop increase.
Exactly.
Sorry, I had to add that one in there for you. So
exactly. Oh man, it's got to bounce on the pitch, and it bounces on the pitch, and then doesn't end up on the pitch. That's a wide. And if it doesn't bounce on the pitch, it's a no ball. Oh man, it's so good. It's so good.
So yeah, it's just and then like I say, it snowballs and I've just you find a bit of a niche and a rhythm, and you get a following and you start talking to other creators like yourself and obviously other people I've sort of watched, like Dan Jads, and you end up talking to them, you collaborate, and just keep posting. That's all I've done really. So
that's been one of the really cool things, is the collaboration between everybody, making this network of friends, virtually. I know most of you guys are all over in England. Dan Jazz, Charlie Cookie, and it's cool to see everyone comments on everyone's posts, shares everyone's posts, is on everyone's show. It's just good to have that community, because that's something that I was missing being here in America. That cricket community isn't here. So getting online and making that cricket community has been amazing, which is kind of how this is starting, like getting to connect with these friends that I've made online through cricket, to kind of learn stories, get to know each other, make some content. It's awesome. I think that's the coolest part of it.
For me, I mean, all the sort of content I produced before I did cricket you didn't really get a lot of. There was a little bit of community about it, but nothing like what's involved in cricket. Because it's just massive. What the amount of people that you can end up talking to, and getting to know them as well. It's like, for me, the big one for me realistically was Dan, because Dan had done all this content before. He's got this massive channel, and I looked up to what he was doing, even like Cricket Districts as well. So I speak to them not on the same amount as because I speak to Dan quite a bit, and we talk about different bits around content, and he's been doing some filters as well recently, and I've done some before, so I was trying to help him with that, and then he's started posting them, and it's just trying to work together to get to that end goal. the end of the day, more people who post about cricket, and I've said this before in comments and to other people, the more people that post about cricket, the better we all are. It's not a competition.
Oh, yeah.
It's 100%. The more we all talk about it, the game grows. There's more room for everybody.
Yeah, absolutely. And that's true. Like that was kind of like how my channel grew so fast, is because it was all happening during the World Cup. So there was a lot of people talking about it. You're coming off one person's cricket video to another person's cricket video, and it's all kind of rolling together. And it is great. And it's good that we, like, everyone's like, I got to get on some of those Dan filters. I got to do some of those videos. But yeah, like, when a topic's coming off, everyone kind of like puts their little 2 cents in on it, and it's good to see everyone's point of view on it. Have a favorite team, like for the IPL or for MLC or for the 100 or Big Bash? Do you follow a team outside of English cricket?
I would say not massively. I'm not gonna. I get shirts, and I love my shirts. So I've got obviously the ones behind me, and there's some that are like this one here is actually, I was given that by Prasanna Jayawardene, who plays for my club.
Oh, wow.
So he's former Sri Lanka wicketkeeper.
Yeah.
So, but he lives lives around the area where we are, Wood also.
Oh, I love that.
So he's given me. It doesn't fit because he's. I would never put it on, but it's nice to have it there. But I collect the shirts, but I wouldn't say I have a favourite side. I'm not a huge fan of, and I watch it a little bit of the franchise cricket. So I watch it a little bit, but I'm not a massive fan of it. I like Makati cricket. I watch a little bit of the Blast. Even the Blast, I'm not a massive fan of it at times. I'm more of an England and then a county champ fan. So,
I hear that. Yeah, I spoke to Charlie. He also said similar things, that county is kind of like English cricketers are big on their county cricket. I guess that would be equivalent to like the Shield cricket in Australia.
Yeah.
And then obviously big into England, everything happening England. You're big into the Test cricket? You probably follow that.
I don't. Unfortunately, I can't watch it as much because I don't subscribe to the right things. But I watch as much as I can when I can. It's all the pay.
I learned that too. I learned that English folk don't get free-to-air cricket, which I thought was crazy. Yeah, coming from Australia, free-to-air cricket was everywhere. And, even up this Border Gavaskar Trophy, the numbers coming out was like so many people tuned in to watch that. And it's, free-to-air. It's all free-to-air stuff. Unless you're overseas. Like, obviously, I paid for my subscription to watch all the cricket from around the world, but I thought England would have been on with like free cricket. Got to keep the English people happy. I'd be
unfortunately,
revolting
it stopped all in 2005. So after that Ashes series, that was the last was the main one, and then it all just went to Sky. And don't get me wrong, Sky have done a brilliant. The coverage of it is great. I mean, some of it goes to another TNT now, but initially it was all Sky, and the coverage is brilliant. And I think they've done a lot for the game, putting it back into the game. But yeah, you do miss being able to just put it on and watch it. I mean, some of the 100 is on terrestrial TV now. So yeah, you can catch it, but yeah, a lot of it, like the county champ stuff, most of it's on on YouTube. So yeah, it's a good way to watch it. And some of the county champ stuff I watched some of it last year when it was on YouTube, and it's just so it's like obviously like Test match. It just boils down to the last few balls sometimes, and it's like there was thousands of people watching a live stream. It was brilliant. So
yeah, no, it's a good league, and I know do they get international players over there? A couple players per team. Are they allowed for the county championship?
Yeah, it does vary a little bit depending. And I mean with all the franchise stuff as well now. Some of them aren't always playing. So and there's obviously different bits. England are trying to make sure that they keep, or the ECB are trying to keep players playing in the county champ rather than going to the franchise leagues as much. But yeah, that's a touchy subject. I think it's balancing it. There's a lot of cricket happening, isn't there? So there's a lot of cricket. There's a lot of money in some of the franchise leagues. So
yeah.
Because
I know, like I said, the English cricket kind of put not sanctions, but they basically, like I said, they want to keep English cricketers over here for 100, over there for 100, because the MLC runs at the same time as the hundreds. I was like, they're at competing
Yeah.
leagues. Because we don't have. I don't think we have any English players. We kind of stole or borrowed, or we have adopted Liam Plunkett, because he's American now.
Yeah.
So now
Yeah.
he's got his new business over here doing cricket training academy stuff, and I think he's still going to play next year, this year, I guess.
I think I've seen a little bit. I see a little bit of his pop up on my socials. So I think he still said he wants to try and play. Well, he can.
Yeah.
Still not a bad player. You wouldn't mind facing him bowling.
Oh yeah.
So.
Oh yeah. No, it's great to have him over here. We'll take him over here, and I think it's good for us over here in America having those international stars coming over, whether it's Australia or Pakistan or wherever, because it does bring those eyeballs here, and then they get to learn kind of the American cricketers, because American cricket's on the rise. I'm sure you were surprised. Maybe during the World Cup, you would have been following the World Cup. What were your thoughts when you saw USA beat Pakistan? Were you watching that during the World Cup?
I was think at the time I was at a game and I was just following the score, and I was like, it was an amazing result for the United States. I don't think anybody, but there was a certain point when it got to a certain point, you're thinking they're gonna win this, even though you somewhere deep down you thought maybe Pakistan might still just pull it out. And there's no offense to Pakistan fans, Pakistan have got it in them to lose games like that. England have got it in them to lose games like that. So, and it's nothing against the United States or USA, but yeah, fair play to them. They did what they needed to, and they got the win. So
yeah, and that kind of started all this for me. I literally hadn't picked up a bat, hadn't spoken about cricket, hadn't bowled a ball for 7-8 years since moving to the States. That day, it was like a Tuesday or something. My phone, turn it on, cricket, USA cricket beat Pakistan, cricket this, cricket that. And it was just, you went to the comments and it was like, we have a team, we play cricket. What's cricket? Like, what is that? And I was okay, I think gotta go tell them how to play now. So I just went, turned on the camera, made a makeshift tripod by the window, got the whiteboard out, sketched it out. Hey guys, it's kind of like baseball, and then it all went from there.
Oh, it started, yeah.
That's how it all started. So, because for me, like growing up in Australia, like cricket was my sport. Like I played, my dad played. That's what we did. My dad coached. My sister also played. She was a very good women's cricketer. I got to travel over to Sri Lanka and play when I was in high school. I played Super Sixes in Hong Kong.
Wow.
So that was kind of, and I also played football, what you would call football. I played soccer also at the same time, like state championships, things like this. And then I kind of got to like end of high school, got to pick which one am I going to do? Can't do both. I can't be Elise Perry. I got to do one of them. So I was like, I'm going to stick with cricket. And so, and then it was cool. Like I got to play with my old man. Like we played grade cricket together. That was really fun. And then, when I kind of like moved into like my professional career, I actually became a chef, personal trainer, and then moving to America, I just like, okay, I'm leaving cricket behind, I guess. And then now it's back. Now we're back.
It's back, baby.
And then I found a local team over here, and I got to play a couple games over here. It's been great. I'm back in it. I'm excited. Hopefully we get some winter stuff in here. How's it go over there? Do you guys do a lot of indoor in the winter time over there?
It depends on the club. So some have already started indoor training. There is indoor cricket as well. I've never, apart from the indoor content creator cup which we did back in November. I don't really play indoor cricket. It's not because I don't want to. It's because I've not really. By the time I finish work and because I work till about 6 p.m. most days, it's difficult to get to anywhere that does it. And most of them are like it starts at 6:30, 7, and logistically it just doesn't work, unfortunately. So, but when we start indoor training, some have already started it, and I think we start in a few weeks. So I'll be glad to get back at it and start aching afterwards.
Yeah. Love that. So tell us a little more about the Creator Cup, the Cricket Casuals. I know that's a cool thing that I've been seeing with you guys. Feels like there's a really nice community of you guys all together at one little place. Do you guys are all like local? How does that work?
No.
Talk me. Okay. Talk me through it, because from where I sit, it's like this utopia where everyone's like neighbors and you're all hanging out together and playing cricket.
Yeah.
Tell me about cricket casuals.
So the cricket casuals originally started with there's 4 of us. So started with Aidan, so A-Lights 98. He was setting up the group. And then there was him, myself, Mutz, and My Side Cricket, and Adam Feed Buddy Batter. There was the 4 of us. So he started it with just over 2 years ago, and it was the idea to start creating cricket content together. But we are dotted around the country. So Adam lives in like Yorkshire, which is above me. Mutz is around near London, and then Aidan's around near, I think it's Torquay Way. That's right there. So we're spread across the country. So a lot of it was also going to be online content, where we've done some podcasts in the past. But then it was trying to do our own content and then put it on the casuals page. And then the idea was that we would build it over time. Aidan was like, one of the ideas he wanted to do was do a creator like tournament thing. So we'd get as many creators as we could, and then we'd host it at our club initially, and then hopefully it'll get bigger and bigger. Yeah, last year it finally came round. So after that first sort of early January time, I get my years mixed up there. January 2023, we joined, and then from that we were planning for like a year and a half to get the first one done, the Outdoor Content Creator Cup in May last year, and yeah, it was an immense situation. So we had like 50. Well, initially it was about 60 odd creators involved in it as either playing side or backups, reserves, and then some people obviously dropped out. That's why we had reserves, and we just had it was just a great day, and we actually hosted it at my club because we wanted it. I always wanted it somewhere where we could have a little bit more control than somewhere we didn't know.
Yeah,
and yeah, I think the community that's built around that now is amazing. There's so many people involved in it. And it's just going to get bigger and better. And we've got bigger and better plans for this year. Can't unfortunately say too much because
we'll keep under wraps.
But it is going to be a good year this year for it. So
I
can assure you. And in fact, that's my playing shirt from the first one.
There
and
you
the
go.
Casuals won the Outdoor Content Cup. Not that we didn't fix it one bit, honestly.
So wait, so you had the casuals versus the who? Who were the 2 teams?
So there was 4 teams in it. So
okay.
There was obviously the cricket casuals. There was Serious Cricket. They were the main sort of sponsor because they did all the kits and they provided the stumps and the balls. Then we had Cricket District. So I have actually got a Cricket District shirt because I'd nabbed one. And then there was the Content Creator 11. So as much as we're all content creators or in some form or another, or bat brands, that's the other thing is we've got a lot of brands involved as well. So it's just, and they're just, it's all just sort of come together as one big group, and it's, everybody's trying to help each other with it. So,
I love it. I've loved tuning in and seeing the videos and connecting with some of the guys and gals that are doing it. And it's great. It's good to see. And, I like help inspire this. Like I can't go over there and play cricket with you guys, but I can jump on, I can chat with you guys. It's like, maybe if I get a videographer, we'll get some sponsorship money. We'll go fly over there, have a little over there England series. Because obviously this is where it has to go. I got to do like the more YouTube stuff. The goal would be to kind of like ended up like Dan has it, where I'm making those videos. That's the life I used to live. I used to live the YouTube life with the cooking stuff. That's what the books are. And and that's what we used to do, is just make cooking videos from home. But that it's a whole process, between the filming, the editing, the uploading. It's a whole thing, which is why TikTok is such an amazing app. Still is for the time that I have it.
Hopefully you still keep it.
Hopefully we still keep it, because it's so cool. It's the speed in which you can put out a piece of content, and the viewers they're fully aware that it's not going to be 1080p or 4K. It's not 4K content. They're happy for you just to like put it in selfie mode or put it on the green screen and shoot it up there, and they're like, perfect. We've got the information. we think you're a cool person, we'll follow. Like, it's as simple as that.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, which is cool. And we hope that we got it back. We lost it for a couple of hours. I don't know if you've seen this. But this is what happened. If those people that don't know, if you retained the app, if you kept the app on your phone, the next day it came back on and you could use the app. Some people deleted it. And for those that deleted the app, you can't download it. So literally people are buying iPhones with the app on it for $3,000 on eBay. Kidding you not. You can go on eBay in America right now. You can buy a $2,000, $3,000, $5,000 iPhone with the app on it, because some people just delete, and now you can't get it back. I'm so glad I just kept it, and it was also weird because you guys didn't lose it. So I don't know if anyone's gonna ever have this feeling, but like the next day it was like you press the button and then it was like, oh wait, that's right, it's not there.
That'd be weird.
You put your phone down.
I check it so much.
Yeah, and you put your phone down, and it's like, oh, well, now what do I do? And then I go about my life doing whatever, and then it's like, oh yeah, I'll just check. Oh wait, it's not there.
Yeah, because I even have it, so it's on my. Oh, where are we? It's even on my lock screen, so I can get to it quickly.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Yeah. No, it was very bizarre. And then all of a sudden it was like, it's back. And it was like, oh my God, it's back. So yeah, that's happening right now. You can buy a very expensive iPhone now with TikTok on. Okay. So yeah. So we're going to get into the what a take section of this. I'm going to get some JT hot take here. We're going to see what you have to say about this. So we're going to start with the most controversial one first. Johnny Bairstow, out, not out?
Out. To me, it was never a controversial thing. He was stupid. He walked out of his ground, and in the laws, he was out. So I understand where a lot of the English players are coming from, but I would have been more against it if Carey had held it a little bit. So, like, if he'd literally held it for like 2 or 3 seconds and then thrown it, a little bit different. But because he literally took it, boom, straight away, no, I've got no issue with it. It's frustrating because he was batting so well, and it was a massive turning point in the game. But yeah, he's out.
Yeah,
I can't argue with it. I can't, and I never did argue with it. People, when I put it out on TikTok at the time, I never argued with it. I said it's out.
Yeah, so, I know, and people are gonna fight against you. Like I kept all my life. I am a notorious thrower down of the stumps. Like I would do it all the time. And Carey's also one of those keepers that comes up to the stumps a lot, even for the medium paces. Yeah. And I would keep up to the stumps with a mask. I actually used to wear a baseball mask. And then if they're batting out of their crease or moving out of their crease, I would always throw the stumps down. And it really is that simultaneous action. If there's no simultaneous movement towards the stumps, then sure, it's dead. Like, I think one of the other ones that was there, I think you might have seen from some sort of county championship or some sort of local game where the keeper throws it to second slip.
That was what I was thinking of.
Yes, and then second slip throws it.
Now that one for me, ironically, that was also given out, but for me, that's not out. I made that in again another video. Anything like that's great for me to put in a video. Yeah. And it's like, not a chance. No, for me, it was dead ball because he'd thrown it to the second slip as like you passed it around the field. Yeah. And at that point, that's when it's dead to me.
Yeah, I'm big on that too. Like I said, it's the motion from the keeper. As soon as the keeper throws the ball, he has signaled that it's over. I'm getting rid of the ball. That's the end of it. And even if the keeper, for example, takes the ball and then even if let's say he starts running towards the stumps, you would still call that like in play. Like he maybe hasn't like thrown the ball yet, but he's like
making an intent to go for.
He's making an intent to go towards the stump. So. Yeah, and then I think there was another one. Maybe you can remember this. There was another one where I think the Keeper threw the ball at the stump. Stump's broke. Batter walks out, and then he still runs up to the stump, grabs the ball, pulls it out. I don't know if I have to send you this one.
I don't think I've seen that one. No.
You may have seen. It was one.
I've seen a lot of them.
It was one of the first ones that I ever commented on, and it was. I was like, no, in what world do you... He had a shot, like the guy was in his crease, he was out of his crease, he threw the ball, guy turns around, he puts his bat in the crease, bails get knocked off, okay, sure, dead ball, you think it's over, batter walks now out of the crease, keeper comes up, grabs the ball, grabs the stump, pulls the stump out, and everyone's turning at him and like, no, no, you already had your one chance, you got back in his crease, we're not going to sit here all day and wait, because otherwise, that's just not cricket.
No. There's been there was another video that was a long time ago where, actually near the start when I did it, and the bowler bowled the ball. He took it, the batter defended it, and the non-striker was out of his ground, but the bowler was walking back with the ball in his hand. He saw the non-striker was out, but he'd had it in his hand for that long, and then went and threw it down. Like the ball's dead at that point. So.
Yeah. So I think before I get into the next hot take here, this is something because like my old man, he's an umpire. I spoke to him about the Steve Smith one, which I posted about, and I was like the camera angles and everything. One of the things that's different between umpiring a local game and umpiring in a professional event with the TV cameras on is the TV cameras are there and you have the second view, the third view, the seventh view. You have the beauty of the TV camera. In real life, sometimes you don't have that beauty in local game. You don't have the beauty of the angle. So, so in the example of that Steve Smith one, at a local game, that probably gets given out. Gets given out. Yeah, because there's no way to.
Agree with you on that.
Yeah, like he just hit 1 millimeter of turf. I know the rule is the rule. I spoke to him about the technical rule. Maybe you can go over the rule. I was under the impression, especially in that one, that his thumb was under the ball, and that even though some part of his finger was under the ball, then technically it's going to be not out. But in that situation, they were basically debating, like, technically he brushed the grass on the way back up, because there are situations where you can have your fingers under the ball, and technically the ball can kind of like press through your fingers and still be called out. But as soon as you flip your hands over or to the side, they're going to give it not out because you
touch the ground,
ball touch the ground, which leads me into Mitchell Stark, the Mitchell Stark on the boundary, out, not out,
100%,
100% not out.
And the fact that I've done this one to death on my channel, and I've even put in about the Marais Erasmus, who was the third umpire at the time who gave the not out. What he said, he was never fully. Granted, he took the catch. Yeah, I'm not disputing that, but he wasn't in full control of his motions, and he had to use his hand. If he'd have turned his wrist round, and it wasn't the ball dragging on the ground, he'd have stayed out. But he dragged the ball across the ground to stabilise himself, because he could have, if he hadn't put his hand down, it'd have gone over, wouldn't he?
Yeah.
So he could have even gone over and still kept it palm up, and he'd have been fine. But that could have made it worse for him.
If this is a local game, he probably gets out because you saw the catch. You probably can't see from that far from the umpire where his hand position was. You just see the catch, you see the slide, you see him stand up with the ball. He probably gets out in a local game, but because we go back, I just rewatched it this morning actually, and how it all played out live. And it was like, they were concerned about the no ball. No, there was no ball. Oh, no, it's out. And then all of a sudden it's like not out. And a commentator is like, what do you mean? And like, he put the ball down on the ground. And then all the Australians were like, worst decision ever. The English were like, that's the best decision ever. And then you go to the laws and you're like, you can't argue with the law.
No, for me, it's balanced. And then people, what I hate is when it comes to the commentators saying, well, no, actually, he should have been out. No, just understand, because none of these will have umpired. Granted, they've played at the highest level, all of these, but they've never umpired, and you've got to understand the laws a bit more to what it is. It was always for me. I grant, like you say, in a local game, especially if you're on your own umpiring, if something like that happened, probably going to get given out. You're right, but with everything that's there and all the technology that's involved, I mean, you didn't need a lot of it to see it. You just needed another camera angle.
Yeah,
and you could see it slide across the ground. The bit that always gets me, and it's like an example, is if he'd have been closer to the boundary and that momentum had took him towards the boundary and he touched it, then what would that be? If he'd have dragged it across the ground and then touched it, that's 4. If he'd have not touched it on the ground and then he hit the boundary, it's 6. You can't have it both ways.
Yeah.
So yeah. No, for me it was that was a clear cut one, and I can't believe some people argued with it, but that's the beauty of the internet, isn't it? And people have got opinions.
Absolutely. They'll argue over anything.
To be fair, if people didn't have opinions, my channel and some of the stuff that you post wouldn't get the views and the comments it does. So as much as I don't agree with some people when they say it, it helps.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, moving on to J-Swell. J-Swell caught behind. No snicko, clear deviation. Out, not out.
Out.
He's out. I think that was a very bizarre one.
It was a bizarre one.
It was a bizarre one. I mean, I think one of the things that potentially was, I think it hit the glove, because that side angle was very you couldn't tell what it was hitting from the side angle, and maybe it hit the glove, and maybe it was just enough to not pick up on the mic. But then as soon as they pan to that front camera, you're like, it's clear deviation.
There's nothing else that it could hit.
Yeah, clear deviation. And then it's like all of India was like, they're cheating and this and that, and get rid of the snicko, and
for me that again, I sort of can understand why an umpire didn't, because as an umpire you're going for a few things, you're actually looking for the visual stuff. Sometimes that can't always be that obvious that it happened. I know people say yes, it is obvious, but that's you looking back on God knows how many replays, and they're showing it so many different ways that it shows it. But sometimes live, you just don't. And you're also working on sound. And if it comes slightly off a glove, you're not going to hear that. Sometimes you don't hear that thud on a glove as well.
Yeah.
So
I think one of the big things is the camera angle that we see on TV is not from the point of view of the umpire.
No.
That's the biggest thing. So in that case, from the umpire's point of view, he would have been distracted by the bat and the glove. He wouldn't have seen the deviation. It would have been almost impossible for him to see that. But because we're up a lot higher and they come to that camera angle, that's the only way you would see the deviation. And I think it would have been hard to give it out if there was no noise. There was one just in the BBL, I don't know if you saw, where there was a clear nick and no one appealed.
Yes, I did see that. Yeah,
see that? That was
did Billings take the catch. Was it against the Thunder or something?
Yeah, Thunder. Yeah, the keeper takes the catch, and Audio picked it up. Hotma picked up. It did appear, though, there was a lot of noise in the crowd. The crowd noise, when you hear the audio come back, it sounds like there's a lot of noise in the crowd. Obviously, that stump mic was what picked it up, and from the umpire's end, no one heard it. So you think they're 60 feet or so from the batter, the keeper's 60 feet or so from the batter, and it was just enough to not hear it.
Yeah.
So
there's some weird ones in the bid. I tell you what, the Big Bash is a mine. I love it. I love it for that, because they just there's loads of clips that they keep putting up, and it's brilliant.
So many.
There's so many controversial stuff.
What do we have? We had the Stars. The Stars threw down the stumps. No one appealed. And then they told Maxwell, on the hot mic, hey, you know that throwdown from that overthrow from 2-0 balls ago? Yeah, that guy was out. You should have appealed. He's like, oh, yeah, that'd be right.
It's just, and then people are like, well, why didn't they just give it? Well, that's not how it works.
Yeah.
You've got to have an appeal.
Yeah.
Because there was some saying that in that one, I think some people were saying that, was it Siddle? They're saying that Siddle appealed. Well, actually, I think it was more the fact that somebody threw it down and he was annoyed that it was going to run away for more runs.
Yeah.
Rather than an appeal. Because I'm pretty sure an umpire would take an appeal as it was. So
yeah, even if you're just saying, how's that? How is that? Even if you said it casually, that would still count as an appeal.
Yeah, you don't need it from a whole team.
Yeah. Yeah, but no one said anything.
It just has to be it could be a very nice, polite, how is that, sir? It could even be that.
Oh, I have never in my life ever said it like that. I am the loudest appealer ever. There is no one louder. I scream so loud. As the keeper, I go up. Well, one of those things, if I'm keeping, it's out or not out. I do not appeal on if they think it's an edge. I said, I played a couple of local games, and a couple times I take one behind. Everyone goes up. I'm dead silent. I'm like, there was no way he hit that. In a league where there's no pro umpire, it's like on a big, maybe this can be the hot take, walking or not walking.
Yeah,
in a casual league, in a local league.
When you've got no umpires, I don't think it's fair you put pressure on one of your teammates to give you out if it's a clear edge. I get put a little bit more pressure on when I'm umpiring games because they know I'm an umpire.
Yeah,
but
no,
I will
it's
umpire
fair.
when I'm playing in a game, but then I have to umpire the same game when we're batting. Then I will umpire it, and I will do this legit as if I was umpiring a game. If I think one of my batters is out, I'm going to give him out. It doesn't matter if it's for my team or against us. Hand on heart, I would give any decision that I think is out.
Oh yeah, for sure. No,
I've seen it the other way where people definitely favour their own team, which is what it is. But yeah.
No, I famously gave my old man out one game, and I got a talking to on the way home. He's like, "How could you give me out?" I was like, "Pretty sure that was Plum, Dad. Like, I don't know what to tell you." He's like, "You shouldn't." I'm like that. I was like, but yeah, like I'm big on walking, especially in a game where you don't have the ability to have the umpire there. And then I think in when you do have the pro umpires, there is weird situations where I don't know if you saw the Mitch Marsh one. Mitch Marsh almost walked himself in one of the tests, and then they went back to the replay. He swung. The keeper's up to the stumps. He swung. He thought he hit it. The keeper thought he hit it. And then he kind of like started walking away. Umpire gives him out. And then they went back to the replay, and there was like a clear gap between him and his bat. And I was like, I don't know why he did that. That was kind of strange. Maybe he thought he hit it.
Yeah. You see a lot of cricket sometimes.
You see a lot of cricket. So the next one, we got man cat or no man cat. What do you got on the man cat?
Right. So as a player, don't like it. Don't like it. I wouldn't like to see it in a like league game Sunday or even Saturday to the highest level on a in Premier League cricket around here. I wouldn't like to see it, but I get it as an umpire. In the laws, I get it. I understand it. But as a player, and don't get me wrong, I've been close to doing it to somebody before, but I've never done it. Partly because when I was bowling, all I could see in the corner of my eyes, they were like not halfway, but they were a good yard or two down, and all I could see was they were up, and I'm like, hang on, you can't be that far down. I never did it. I just stopped in my bowling action, but yeah, I'm on the fence of, as a player, I wouldn't like to do it. I would probably stop and just turn around and just say, hang on. As an umpire, if somebody did it and they were out of the ground, I'd have to give it because it's in the laws.
Yeah, no, for sure. That's a good take right there. I think it's one of those things where you almost want to put an amendment to the rule where you're like, you have to tell them first. You almost like spirit of the game. You should give them a warning. Like a spirit of cricket like amendment with like italic or something. You're like, if you feel the need to man cat, let them know first, and then go for the man cat.
Because it's always been tied to spirit of cricket, and I get it.
Yeah.
That's why there's that purist in a lot of players. Well, we'll give him a warning, and if he continues to do it, then it's fair game. But I mean, the one thing I will say is if somebody did it in a game, I would probably I would say I will give it, but I would probably also talk to the captains or captain on the field and say, do you still want to uphold this appeal? If you do want to uphold it, then I'm going to give it. Because it can cause it can be as we've seen in different situations with it happening more in pro cricket, but yeah, it can be a very divisive subject, can't it?
Absolutely. Yeah, it's one of those things. I mean, you don't see it too often. No. But it does cause controversy when it happens. So, yeah.
Yeah. Thankfully, it's not happened when I've umpired or even played, ever since it happened a bit more in pro cricket, and especially since they changed it from sort of within the spirit of cricket bit to now in the run out section of the laws. Then yeah, I thought that was going to happen a lot more, and thankfully, touch wood and all that, it's not going to. So
very good.
I don't want it to become a regular thing, because I think some people think, well, even at village cricket, some people like to win at all costs. And it's there. The weekend when they lose.
Oh, for sure. No, I had the conversation with the guys here. It's like, when you're playing at that level, you know, most people are playing it for fun. And, you know, yes, we're playing for a win, have a good game. But like when it comes to situations where, let's say you're sliding by the boundary, you don't have a rope, it's just cones. Like, you know, you don't have to be so serious. And like, if it's close, it's close, you know, like if it probably deserved to be 4, it probably deserved to be 4. And if you don't know, you don't know, and just give it 4. Like, you know, we haven't going to make a big deal about it. And because over here, they get so heated. Like, to put it in perspective, like you understand, like cricket, same as Australia, very gentleman style game, you know, the whites and, you know, everything's kind of, you know, nice in a way. It's, you know, nice grounds, nice things like that. My first game, when I came to play here in the States, they took me to this ground, and it was just like my first experience with the Hessian bags. It was there was no like throw out the window. There was no like etiquette. There was no tailored this, no tailored that. There was no. It's crazy. They pack up. I don't know if this happens in England, but they pack up all their gear. If whoever fields first will pack up all their gear and put it in their car, and then that's it. No, wait. If they bat first, if you bat first, they take all their gear, pack it up, put it in the car, they go out and field, and then there's like no bags anywhere. I was like, what's everyone doing? Why are we leaving our stuff here? Don't you need any? I guess you don't need anything from your bag if you're fielding in the end, but it was bizarre. Everyone did it. Both teams. I like, you know, a couple games. Yes, if they batted first, they just packed up all their kits and put them in their cars, and then they went out and fielded. And then as soon as they're done, they just jump in their cars and go. It's like,
fair enough.
I suppose
it's efficient.
It's very efficient. But there's no like here. There's no like. We're big on the Australia, maybe in England too, like the after game celebration at the pub. You know, like I'm sure you guys go back to the pub or back to somewhere. You have like a little MVP thing, and you know.
Yeah, it varies for us now. For me on a Sunday, it varies because the team I play in is very much it's a developmental side, so there's still quite a lot of juniors involved in it, so it doesn't happen as much as it used to when I started, like Sunday cricket or adult cricket. But we still go, and I'll like if I'm at home, I'll go back to the pavilion. We'll go into the pavilion, and we'll have a drink and have a chat. And now we've actually got a pool table at a club, so we'll use that. And so it's and some darts. Got to play a bit of darts as well.
Oh, you play a bit of darts?
Not very well.
Oh, okay. You guys love your darts over there. I like playing darts. Yeah. You know, Luke the Nuke over there. Did you follow the dart leagues over there?
A little bit. I'm not a massive. I play a little bit just to get involved with the rest of the team and stuff.
Yeah.
And we do I didn't really sort of play around the board, so like you 1, 2, so on and so forth. You go around the clock. And I challenge one of my mates to see how many times he can go round it before I complete it. And he's done it about 4 or 5 times before I've finished.
Oh wow.
Because I'm not very good, and he is good, and he's also got quite a long reach that helps him. So,
it's a fun game. But that sounds great. You guys have a pool table inside your.
Yeah.
Do you guys? Does it work with the cricket? Are you connected with a club or like a pub or club? Do they like feed into your cricket? Like that's how it works in Australia, where like there's a local club pub that kind of like hosts all of the teams for that club, and then you kind of all go back there after the game.
Not really, no, because all of the stuff is for us at the club. It's all at the pavilion, so we've got the bar there, and we've got the TV, and it's not a massive pavilion, but it does what we need because it's still technically we're still a village club, so it's probably a big village. It's realistically, but it's where everything's sort of done in the pavilion. And it's quite a nice one. So, I mean, it was when it was redone. We had the night open it. So
that's
not a bad link. So
not bad, right there.
And then another one for you. We had Kevin Peterson open our nets when they had them done about 10 years ago.
Gotta love that.
So
gotta love that.
He flew in in his helicopter to do it.
Really?
Somebody at the club had links to be able to get him down, and he had at the time he had to get in so many hours, and he's training for doing his pilot's thing for his helicopter. So he flew it into the nearby area, and then he came by and opened our nets. And
that's awesome.
Had all the juniors bowl at him.
That's awesome. What an experience! That's fantastic. So coming to the end here, do you have a Ashes prediction here? What do you think's happening for the Ashes this year? You excited for the Ashes? You got any predictions for the Ashes?
Always excited for Ashes. The only bit I don't like is when it's in Australia, is because the time zone. Obviously, I want to watch more of it as much as I can, or catch as much as I can. See, the Englishman in me feels like we could do it, but my head, and especially after what they did to India, feels like we might win a test, and I think that will be quite an achievement. I think it'll be something like, unfortunately, I think it'll be something like 3-1 to Australia. But I think it'll be close. I think it'll definitely revolve around, like most Ashes series, a few decisions and a few sessions. So if one team has a massive collapse in a session, that could set it all up for that. But I feel like, unfortunately, I think Australia are a very tough side to beat.
Yeah, no, I think that's a good take. I know I spoke with Charlie about this. He's up for England winning. I think it is hard, like with being in Australia. They always have a little bit of the advantage, you say. And I think England has to, technically, to regain the Ashes, win more games. And that's the thing. Yeah. I like to say, even as an Aussie, that we won the last Ashes series. It was a draw,
and we
retained. Yeah, it wasn't like it. We had chances to win, to outright win. We had chances, and Stokes wasn't having any of that. He made sure that there was no win there, and it's always good. And
I think it's going to be. We've got the one bit I'd like to see, and it would just shut up everybody about it, is Root to get a century in Australia, and then it'll just shut everybody up, because then it gives people no excuse for him to be not classed as one of the greatest batters of all time. Because he is, even if he doesn't get it, it'll be a little blot on his thing, but he is still one of the great. And I was sidetracking there a little bit, but
good. No, I can even go down. I might double down in my prediction. I might say Root to get 100 at the MCG. I think that's probably the best ground for him to get it. Or he might. I know the day-night match is going to be in Brisbane, so I don't know if he comes out the gate in Perth and gets one, but I think he could get one. I'd put some money on him to get one. I think that's pretty solid.
The form he's currently in,
yeah.
We'll see when it comes round to the Ashes, but it'll be, obviously it's always built up, and it's one of the best series around, regardless. So there's some good players, and I think there'll definitely be some retirements during the series. There's a guarantee, I think.
Oh, for sure. If not beforehand, I think most of the Australians are going to hold on for the Ashes. I don't think they're going to give it up. I don't think they forget. I don't think they forget what happened in 23. They want to stamp the win.
Yeah. They'll definitely be either. Well, I think I'm pretty sure there'll be at least one mid-series retirement.
Okay, big call right there.
I don't know. I don't know from which side.
Heard it here first, JT.
At least one mid-series retirement.
Well, we're gonna come back to this clip right here, mid-series after Brisbane. We're gonna see who it is. We're gonna clip it in the prediction right here from JT.
There you go. Yeah,
love it. Well, JT, CricketUmpire86. Let them know where they're gonna find you. CricketUmpire86 everywhere.
Well, TikTok, Instagram, all same sort of name. Instagram's got an underscore at the end, and then YouTube as well. So I've started posting more long form content on there as well.
Perfect. Yeah, I'll put all the links below. People can grab that. JT, it's been a pleasure. Thank you so much for being here on the show. We'll definitely
thank you for having me.
We'll be doing it again. We'll definitely have to have a Barmy Army Aussie kind of like pre-Ashes discussion. Yeah, when it comes a little bit closer to it. Thank you, mate. And for everyone listening, we'll see you in the next one.